Katherine McGerald from SurvJustice, and could everyone please give her a warm welcome as she comes to the stage.
Thank you, everyone. I'm Katherine McGerald, and I'm the Executive Director of SurvJustice. SurvJustice was founded in 2014 by a survivor of sexual violence, Laura Dunn. I took over as the Executive Director last October. Campus sexual violence is a pressing concern for both public health and safety on college campuses. I want you to think of all the college students that you know in your life, and then think of these statistics. 1 in 5 women and 1 in 16 men will be sexually assaulted while in college. Think of the students starting this fall. About 3 million students on campus who start this fall will be sexually assaulted during their college years. 34.1% of students who have experienced sexual assault drop out of college. That is higher than the dropout rate of non-sexual assault. SurvJustice is a legal nonprofit dedicated to providing justice to survivors of sexual violence through holistic and client-centered legal assistance, trainings, and policy advocacy. We are the only organization providing legal assistance to survivors in campus proceedings across the country. There are other organizations that do this work, but we are the only one that handles cases nationally. SurvJustice has the experience. We've received over 800 requests for assistance from 50 states and over 6 countries. But we also have the outcomes. We have a 78% success rate for findings of responsibility at the campus level in the campus disciplinary process. That means that a survivor is getting an experienced attorney to help lead through the process of the campus disciplinary proceedings. Without that help, survivors might not know what to do. Now, I said that we provide holistic and client-centered lawyering. That's been a buzzword over the last few years. And what it means is we are providing services to survivors of sexual assault in a way that empowers the survivor. We provide information, we provide advice, but we will not control the case. We will let the client and the survivor choose the outcome that she wants to go after. And that's really important because survivors of sexual violence have had so much of their control and power taken away from them that this allows for them to gain some of it back. So, what we want to do for growth is to develop and maintain a training academy on how to provide those very holistic and legal services. We have the experience. I've been an attorney for almost 19 years. Almost my entire career has been elevating the voices of survivors of sexual and intimate partner violence. We also have our senior staff attorney, Carly Mee, who is one of the only nationwide experts in the Clery Act. And she could provide that expertise to other attorneys. And we also want to continue to provide exceptional legal services and open new offices in our top markets over the next 3 years. But what's most important to remember about this is why we do the work that we do. I do this work for survivors. Survivors of sexual violence are often silenced and overlooked, and it is hard to come forward. If you come forward, somebody might ask you what you were wearing. Why did you put yourself in that situation? Why didn't you leave? Why do you stay with him? And those are questions that no other crime victims are asked. So in closing, we need your help and your funding. We have a sustainable plan to scale, but we need your help. Thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic job. Everyone, one more round of applause. Great, and so as our first contestant, I'm going to hand it over to the judges who have 5 minutes of questions for our guest.
Thank you very much. I have a question. We know that survivors of sexual violence, the effects last a long time. So what happens when these people leave the campus? Do you provide any follow-up? Is there any transfer of care? What happens to the students afterwards?
Sure, that's a really good question, because when I say holistic and client-centered lawyering, it's not just, well, we finished your case, you're done, goodbye. We have survivors that maintain contact with us for a very long time. We also handle civil cases. So we do what are called wraparound services, meaning we will help with the campus case, any criminal case, and any civil case.
Hi.
Hi.
You mentioned a training academy. Can you tell me a little bit more about what that is?
Sure. It would be something that we would start, and then what I envision is having us go around for people who request the training, but then twice a year in different cities in the United States holding training events.
Can you say again what is your strategy for encouraging these people to come forward? How are you going to persuade them to come more forward than maybe before?
Sure. Our name is known, so people do contact us. But part of this growth would also be to work with agencies we currently work with, like Know Your Line or End Rape on Campus, to make sure that we put together training materials and pamphlets that would be useful for distribution at colleges so that the word is out there even more.
Thank you, Katherine. Can you tell us a bit more about your business model and your financing? What are you charging your clients, and how are you funding yourself?
So right now, we are what's considered either low bono or pro bono, meaning we charge a reduced rate for everybody, but we also don't turn people away. So we do some things pro bono, and that's increasing because I firmly believe that survivors need to know their options and shouldn't be hampered.
How much money do you need for your academy, and what is your present budget for operating?
Sure. Our present budget for operating is $249,000. For the academy, we would need, because you have to put into the budget my time, Carly's time, developing the materials, and hiring new staff, would be $89,000.
I think that's all of our questions, so we thank you very much for your
Thank you, and
pitch.
thank you, everybody.